Hi everyone, and welcome to our Lifehouse February Lunch and Learn. I am so pleased if you've tuned in now to see us. Um, and I'm going to wait a little bit, see if we have some more people jump on. This cloudy day, it was so nice yesterday. I hope that if it was sunny where you are and it was warm, you were able to get out and enjoy the weather yesterday before it turned cloudy today, at least for us here in Louisville. And we'll just give a few more minutes to see if we have anyone else jump on. We're excited to share a little bit of new information, but I want to also be able to share about Lifehouse for those that are not familiar with us and may be tuning in for the first time for our monthly Lunch and Learn. So we'll just give another minute or two. And if you are tuning in, feel free to share this with any of your friends and family, those that don't know about Lifehouse. This video will be posted on our Facebook page after we wrap up live today, so you can share it at any time with any of your friends. And it's also important that you let them know why you support Lifehouse, whether that's through prayer, financial support, or non-monetary gifts. We appreciate you very much if you're doing that for us. And just a few more seconds. We'll see if anyone else joins in live today with us. So appreciate those that are tuning in. And we'll go ahead and get started. So welcome to our Lifehouse February Lunch and Learn. And if you're not familiar with Lifehouse, I want to share a little bit about us to start with. Lifehouse is a residential maternity home in Louisville, Kentucky. We're a voluntary program. We actually serve women who are pregnant, teens who are pregnant and are in crisis. So maybe they're escaping domestic violence, they're escaping trafficking, they're homeless. They have faced an addiction and are trying to recover from that addiction. So there are many reasons why women will seek Lifehouse to help them. And I mentioned we are a program, so we're not just housing, we're not just for an interim period, short period of time. We actually have residents that can stay with us up to 4 years. And our goal is that in their early pregnancy, when they first come to us, that they will learn about their pregnancy, all the different stages, first trimester, second trimester, third trimester, learn about how their baby's developing. And then they will also learn some parenting skills so that they can care for that newborn. Then we go on to teach them some basic life skills, help them get acclimated to working while being a mom, and then transition into setting goals, whether they want to pursue an education or they just want to look for more stable employment that will offer them the monetary support they need to care for themselves and their children. So Lifehouse kind of is 3 phases. And we have actually 2 sides to the home. A lot of numbers I'm throwing at you. We have a maternity side. So for those women who come to us pregnant, they start out on the maternity side. And then they have the option of transitioning into our furnished apartments. They're an efficiency style apartment with a 1-bedroom and a bathroom that they can live with their child up to 4 years, with the goal of pursuing education or better employment, whatever they need to kind of get them stable and up on their feet. So that's a brief overview, very brief overview of Lifehouse. We have lots of videos here on our Facebook page that tell more about Lifehouse. We have some tours of the home that we've done with previous Lunch and Learn. So I encourage you to take some time and snoop around in our videos, and you can learn a lot more. And we'll continue to be here every month sharing a little bit more about Lifehouse. We have suspended our in-person Lunch and Learns as a group. Normally we would have a group that would come in and we would provide you lunch and a tour of the home and talk to you about Lifehouse and our program. But as everyone knows, last year COVID kind of put the kibosh on everything. So we've transitioned to this virtual option, and it gives us an opportunity to tell just a brief overview of Lifehouse and then go a little more in depth. And that's what I'm going to do today. I mentioned it briefly about the women that come to Lifehouse, that they are often coming to us with some trauma. It could be from a sexual assault, it could be from domestic violence, human trafficking. There's just a lot of reasons that they come here. And because of some of their history and their past experiences, privacy is a very, very important part of what we do here at Lifehouse. While we would love to share specifics about some of our residents, about their children, because of their past, we have learned that sharing that information could jeopardize their safety, and we're all about safety here at Lifehouse. Our building is completely locked. You can't just walk in. We have cameras on each door. We have a keypad system to get into the house, so no one has keys. No keys can be duplicated and shared with anyone. Our residents don't even have a code to get in. They have to ring the doorbell like everyone else and be let in. We have a very limited number of people that actually have a code and access into Lifehouse, and that is to keep our residents safe. Our cameras are situated so that staff does not have to go by a door at night to see who's at the door, and that's just in case someone who's not supposed to be on our property shows up. They don't necessarily have to see that anyone's here. We do have an intercom system, so our staff member who's here at night can communicate with whoever's at the door. We have panic buttons. We have a lot of security measures in place to keep our residents safe. And that is because some of them come from very troubling and sensitive backgrounds and history, domestic violence, abuse, various things that have caused them to seek out Lifehouse for not only housing, but also for security and safety. And for that reason, you may notice that on our Facebook page, our social media, and even within our newsletter, if you are a donor, you receive our newsletter quarterly. You may find that we are using what's often called stock photos. So they're photos that aren't of actual people that live here at Lifehouse, but photos that can be purchased, or we can find them for free on the internet that are there for that purpose for us to use in promoting Lifehouse. And we do that because we want you to see pictures of cute babies, but those may not necessarily be the babies of our residents, just for their safety and security. We also have to take into consideration that some of our moms are making an adoption decision. So their plan is to place their baby in a loving home for adoption. And for that reason, they may be here and may not have family or friends know where they are. So they want that part of their life, this brief season in their life, to remain private. And so we don't want to share those photos that might get out there on the internet and World Wide Web. And once things are out there like that, there's no taking them back. So we have made the decision to really seriously consider the importance of privacy for our residents. And for that reason, going forward, you may not see in our newsletter or on our Facebook page cute smiling babies or wrapped up little burrito newborns, unless it might be what we call a composite picture, a picture that represents that baby or newborn. You may not see pictures of our actual residents. You will most likely see pictures of groups that we have obtained through a photography service. That allows us to share that story and tell that story visually without compromising the privacy and the safety and security of our residents. As you know, that some of these situations can actually be dangerous, and we keep the safety of utmost importance here at Lifehouse for not only our residents but our staff as well. So that's why you may not see that information. Our address is available. Anybody can search and find us. But if you're not familiar with what Lifehouse looks like or where we're located, it's easy to miss. We don't have a sign out front for those safety and security reasons as well. It's a very vulnerable population that we serve. The women that come here have a lot of serious trauma and histories that make it very sensitive, and it's important for us to care and respect that. So I hope that you will understand going forward if you don't see smiling newborns that actually belong to residents here at Lifehouse, or you don't see actual pictures of our residents, or maybe you just see the back of them, or something like that. It's just so that we can respect their privacy during their time here at Lifehouse. And we do want to share, though, that even though we're not doing the lunch and learns as a group here, we will do individual tours of 1 or 2 people. So if you have an interest in learning more about Lifehouse, seeing Lifehouse in person, because you want to volunteer, or maybe you're a donor, or you represent a Sunday school class or a small group that has an interest in volunteering or helping with Lifehouse in some way, but you just want to get a firsthand experience of what we are and what we're about, we would love to do that one-on-one tour with you. You just need to call us here at 502-897-1655, and you can ask for me. I'm Dolly Nykirk, the Executive Director. I don't think I introduced myself at the beginning of this video, but anyway, you could call and ask for me, and I will be happy to set up a time for you to come and tour Lifehouse. We do have COVID precautions in place. Everyone has to wear a mask. And that is, even though I'm not wearing a mask now because I want you to be able to hear me and understand me, all of our staff wears a mask while in the house unless they are in their private office. Our residents all wear a mask in our common areas. They can go without a mask in their bedrooms and bathrooms. But we do take COVID very seriously, so wearing a mask is required while you're in the house. We also take temperature when you arrive, and we have you sign our tracing log, and by doing that, you're also acknowledging you've not been exposed to COVID or to your knowledge, and that you don't have any symptoms of COVID. So we did have a new resident arrive Monday. She arrived Monday, and she is currently serving out her quarantine time. One of the things that we did initially with COVID is we stopped taking new residents because we didn't know enough about the virus. We didn't know enough on how to keep our residents and staff safe. If you remember, initially, there was a lot of different information out there, and the need to wear full PPE and all of those things that we were a little nervous about taking in new residents, and we kind of stopped that process for about 90 days, and then last summer we reopened and we set it up with a quarantine protocol. So all of our new residents actually stay in one of our transitional apartments for their first 10 days. We do monitor their temperature each day. We check on them. They have a cooktop, microwave, refrigerator in there that we keep stocked with lunch and breakfast items that they can make on their own. And then we have a community dinner every night. So our residents take turns preparing a meal. So the meal that's prepared that night is actually brought up to them by our house moms. So our house moms, in addition to checking on them throughout the day, they'll bring their meal up to them for dinner that night. And, the rest of our staff throughout the day, our case manager, our program managers, working with them on different things. And they have some work that they have to start. We have a book on becoming a woman of character. That's a faith-based book that they begin reading while they're in quarantine. They also need to sign up for any services if they've not signed up for their passport or Medicaid card. They do that. They sign up for their food stamp card. They start looking for a job, and so they start applying and seeking a job so they can be working part-time once they get out of quarantine. And there's some other, we have classes and sessions lessons that we can send them via email or text message, so they can begin working on life skills classes and learning about their developing baby while they're in quarantine. And we have nightly devotionals, and that is held out in an area we call the atrium. And it's just outside of those apartments that we set aside for quarantine. We have 2 apartments that are on our 2nd floor for quarantine, and we have a landing area. So at night, the residents in quarantine comes out with her mask on, and she can sit and join in the evening devotional and prayer time that our residents do nightly. And so that gives them a little bit of connection and gives them an opportunity to talk with and get to know the residents. Very socially distanced. It's about 12-foot tall ceiling or more. So they're very far away from our existing residents while they're here. So, but it just gives us an opportunity to talk with them and get to know them while they're in quarantine. And they're always really glad. We've had 3 residents complete our quarantine time. And we've had a couple of babies born shortly after quarantine. So I shouldn't say shortly, but several months after their moms were in quarantine. Lifehouse did welcome baby number 84 at the end of January. So it's a little girl, and we were so excited to hear baby crying. So we're starting to see those little babies come. The next one is due in June, and so we're excited to welcome that one. And that one is going to be a boy. We did a post about gender reveal, and we've had a whole string of girls born, and so this one will be a boy, and we're kind of excited to have a little boy in the house after not having one for quite some time. So I am so glad that you all joined in today. I am happy to answer any questions. If you want to send us a message through Messenger, I will respond to those. And again, if you are interested in coming in and seeing Lifehouse in person, you're welcome to do that by just giving us a call at 502-897-1655, and we'll arrange for that tour, a private tour of Lifehouse. I will have to say we will not be doing lunch, because actually we are told by our medical professionals that the process of eating is probably one of the more high-risk activities you can do during COVID. So we will not be eating and providing lunch, but we will be glad to give you a tour of Lifehouse. And I thank you all for tuning in. We hope to have some updated information about an upcoming project that's going to be taking place at Lifehouse. Hopefully we'll have some more information on that for our Lunch and Learn in March. Lunch and Learns are always the last Wednesday of the month at 12 noon. And you are able to tune in and eat your lunch. We try to keep them brief, less than 30 minutes if possible. But we hope that you'll mark your calendars and plan to tune in next month. So I thank you all for supporting, for your prayers, for your financial donations. And we're grateful for all of you. And we want to wish you God's blessings throughout the coming year. Have a great day. Bye-bye.